Do you like TV?
And film locations?
We're on our way today. Let's go. So I'll try to zoom in. Way over there is one peak. And I think the middle peak is Mount Rainier. And then over Harry's shoulder is Mount Hood, maybe? I don't know. We're trying to figure this out. We're seeing 3 different peaks at one time, and we don't know what's what.
There you go again, looking so handsome. Oh, you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets
It took us a few hours driving until we finally reached the top of Oregon, the Sam Hill Bridge, and the Columbia River, and entered Washington State. We expected the high desert terrain, but we didn't expect a replica of Stonehenge. We will definitely have to come back to visit this World War I memorial, and what we hear is a fantastic museum.
when I'm awake, I'm all blind.
We also didn't expect to find a treasure trove of murals out in the middle of nowhere either. The town of Toppenish, Washington, formed the Toppenish Mural Society in 1989. These murals are painted by local, regional, and national artists and depict the area, people, and different cultures. There are currently 79 murals to discover, and they definitely have room for more. As we took a quick auto tour, we found a quaint little town with new murals around every single corner, and at all levels in town. What a great way to keep the history of this town preserved in what is somewhat of an outdoor museum. We had fun just driving around, and it was great to see the names of the locals that were depicted in the murals. These murals are all funded with private donations only. We'll put a link down below in the film description so you can find out more about these murals and perhaps even donate a bit so they can keep creating and making this town even more beautiful. On their website, there's even a map, so you could make a whole afternoon of it with a walking or biking tour if you want to take even more time to explore. And if you do want to take the auto tour, there's even an app you can download that will give you more information about each mural, available in English and Spanish. We really enjoyed wandering and discovering these beautiful murals, and it really can be just a quick detour right off of the 97 on your way to catch the 87, which is where we took a left and saw even more beautiful views of Mount Hood. My favorite was this random wildflower view. An hour later, we were in Roslyn. We simply love movie and TV locations, so this was definitely one we were looking forward to seeing. It was truly fun seeing the real brick when it was featured so much in the show, as well as just driving down what was to us the familiar looking street of Cicely, Alaska. Welcome to Roslyn.
This is where they shot that TV show in the 90s, Northern Exposure.
This stood in for Cicely, Alaska. Now, we've never been to Alaska, so those of you who have been will have to tell us if this looks right, but we love this show. We just started rewatching it again. It's on Netflix?
Prime.
One of those. So let's go see some of the shooting locations here in town. If you've watched the show at all, then you know this corner. It's near Joel's office and is used often so that they can feature the mural. They used the real name of the town by writing it into the script that Roslyn was one of the founders of the town and Cicely was her lesbian partner, and the reason the town is named Cicely. Rather a progressive theme for a show in the 90s. You see the mural in the intro piece of each episode. If you want to know more, I've included a link to the Northern Exposure wiki below.
Okay, so from the show, this is Dr. Joel Flassman's office, but it's now the Cicely's gift shop.
So they even left the name on the side. And of course, they sell Northern Exposure stuff. So, let's go in. There is much more here than just Northern Exposure stuff. But for the fans, there are lots of production photos along with the headshots of the cast adorning the walls. The town square is where they shot a lot of the community scenes, but you can see it's just a great place to hang out while visiting. So a crazy amount of the show happened right here in the brick with pretty much the whole ensemble cast. So we're gonna go in, see if it looks anything like the show. Oh, this is cool looking. Beautiful bar. We found out that interior shots were filmed elsewhere, but it's still a very cool bar to visit, and the food was delicious. Our server wasn't really a fan of the resurgence of the show's popularity, although many had leaned into it. Being able to see the familiar buildings where Chris had his radio station, Ruth's store, the brick, and Joel's office was fun for us. And while the show got a bit wacky at the end, it will always be a favorite, and we loved visiting Roslyn. Our next stop was the Iron Horse Brewery Taps Room in Ellensburg. Just a few miles from Roslyn, this little college town has a lot to offer. And as we previously scheduled it as an overnight stop before the RV broke down, we thought, why not stop for a beer? Okay, so we are here today at Iron Horse Brewery. Here you go. Grab Harry a beer. Fill up the growler so we can have it for 4th of July tomorrow. This is one of those that was a harvest host that we talked about in our last video. If you don't know what harvest host is, it is kind of like, I don't know, how do you put it? It's
an overnighter for
It's an overnighter for RVers.
You don't have to pay, but you're supposed to
participate
in the business that it in, whether it's a winery, a brewery, some are golf courses, restaurants.
Right.
So you stay overnight for free, but you're supposed to participate with the business for the payback, for the privilege.
So when we had to cancel, all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, we're still going to go by there and we're still going to participate because we believe that these are great organizations trying to make life easier for RVers. So why not, right?
So it worked out.
Okay, so what do you think about Roslyn, Washington?
Roslyn was pretty fun. I mean, if you've ever seen the show, you know, you can go by there. We went and had lunch at the Brick, the restaurant from the show. It was good food, actually, so, you know, I'd recommend it as far as food goes.
We did find out that the interiors of Joel Fleissman's house and the Brick were filmed in Redmond, Washington, which is about 90 miles east of Roslyn, Washington. So the inside of the Brick didn't look anything like the one on TV, but it was still a really great place. I mean, it had a lot of character to it. Fun. So that was a lot of fun. And the town, you know, most of them really enjoy the fact that the series Northern Exposure got a reboot. Some of them not so thrilled to have to be answering these questions every day. But everybody was very nice to us. We had a really good time. So I'm glad we went out to see it.
Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't very far off our track. So it was worth it.
All right, we have one more stop to make before we hit Coeur d'Alene for the night. I'm going to take you with us. Our next stop is just 40 minutes from Iron Horse and also features iron horses. I had seen this from a distance before since it's right off of the 90, but at the top of the hill, you get this amazing view of the Columbia River. Passing by it on the freeway, you would never guess that this view was just a minute away. Totally worth the stop. The sculptor called this piece Grandfather Cuts Loose the Ponies, but it's more commonly known as the Wild Horses Monument. From the parking lot, you can hike all the way up to the top. It's a very steep climb, but gets you to the 18 life-size horses. They're amazing from any viewpoint. We still had over 2.5 hours to drive before being able to stop for the day, and this segment let us get some impressive views of the volcanic activity that created the landscape of multi-layered rocks piled on top of each other. This leads us, of course, to hoping you will give us a thumbs up and that you will subscribe to keep taking this adventure with us. We really do appreciate every like, subscribe, and comment. In fact, talking with you is a highlight for us, so please do leave us a comment below. One stop we'll have to come back to on later adventures is Spokane, Washington. We've driven through it twice now and had no time to stop, but it's only a 40-minute drive from Coeur d'Alene, so we're bound to make it there on our next trip. All right, it's been a long day. We started at 8 a.m. It is what now? 8:45 p.m. But we had a great time today just exploring, making our way up Oregon, across Washington, and now we're in Idaho. Everyone, take care, safe travels.
And we'll see you next
time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out with us today. There is still just so much to come, including the 4th of July fireworks over Lake Coeur d'Alene. We can hardly wait to share with you all just how beautiful a sight that is. If you've missed any part of this series, we'll link the playlist right here at the end so you can catch up. See you next time.